let's get into this video where Abba and Preach apparently, hold on a minute. Okay, I got it. Just want to make sure. Abba and Preach apparently wanted to give their opinion on Tim Pool. Okay. All right. Let's see what they had to say, fam. I'm not a fan of Abba and Preach. Nah, I'm not even a little bit. I used to be years ago, but then they made this like crazy woke change to where I just can't rock with them. That's my personal opinion. Let's get into it. Hit the like button, share the video, all that good stuff. I switched the screen and it stayed the same. Ain't that bottom? Switch the screen and it stayed the same. Oh, that should fix. I'm gonna do this. There you go.
I've done this before, so just bear with me if you've already
Is that me having to sped up? No, that's them.
seen it. Basically, before dating apps and social media, a college-age woman or high school, whatever age, is their dating pool is limited. I think college is probably a better idea. Yeah. It's probably a better example. Their dating pool is limited to the other college students of the same age and around their peers. But with Tinder, now they can message a 30-year-old guy who lives 5-10 miles away and who has a car. So when this woman swipes right on a 20-year-old college student and a 30-year-old career guy, she thinks they're both attractive, messages both of them. The 30-year-old guy says, I can pick you up in my Honda Civic and we can go to the lake or go see a movie. And the college guy says, you want to hang out my dorm with my dorm mates? Which one's she going to pick?
The guy isn't in the dorm. Yeah.
So like for me, I'm a couple weeks away from being 34. But I grew up at a time I was coming of age when these social media platforms were being built. So I exploited all of them.
Yes.
I had a very normal teenage and years and 20s and everything, dating, hooking up, partying, all the good stuff. And I skateboarded all the time and I was arrogant, cocky, just awful person, all that. And the ladies loved it. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I mean, they kind of did. And now I'm in my 30s and I can go on dating apps and be like, oh yeah, yep, you got it. And then these other guys who are like 26 have no experience because guys like me have dominated the dating apps for the entire time.
Yep.
So when they're 30, they've never dated before.
And they might, if they've tried a dating app and it didn't work, they're probably not going to want to go back on it when they're 30 to try again.
The dating apps are awful anyway. Like
never tried one.
Well, it's like for women, it's just you just sit there and you're inundated with messages from literally everyone, and then guys go in and message literally everyone.
Yep.
It's become awful. So I basically walked away from it.
It's crazy. I ain't been on a dating app in a while, but that's literally the game. It's you have to go in there for men and talk to everything as many people as possible. Right? Just better your chances. And for females, is literally the opposite. You just go on there and your inbox is going to be flooded. You just have your pick. You could go based off of whatever you want, right? You could go based off of superficial just looks. Or eventually, if females be on there for so long, they like, let me actually go through the profile, right? Let me read it. Do you actually take the time to put something on there? Does he travel? Right? What's his career? Right? Things along those lines. 100%. And it is better, or I guess you could say more appealing to the person who can drive around and all that extra stuff and yada, yada, yada.
Ugh, it's trash. But I do think it's crazy that I'm about to be 34 and I have no family. Because my dad had 2 kids by the time he was 27.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, you know what the problem is though? It's definitely not me. I think it's everybody else.
Yeah.
So you're saying...
I thought he was being satirical when he said it too, because there was like a pause and I thought this was going to be a punchline. It's because he just spent the last hour lecturing everybody about the fact that dating is so tough for ordinary people because they don't make enough money. Women are pretty much drawn to men who make a lot of money.
Temples make money.
He's like multi-millionaire.
Okay,
he's into hypergamy. He's talking about how women are hypergamous, all this other stuff. But at the same time,
you're 34 and still not.
You can't. Everyone else is the problem.
Like he's the cheat code.
I couldn't believe when he said that sentence. Problem's not me. Definitely not me. Anyone who says that sentence, man or woman, run.
Fam, the pool gets better depending, but it's like because he has money, that means that all the girls that talk to him because of that are right for him. That sounds stupid. What if he's looking for more, right? If money is the only thing that is appealing, especially based off of what y'all are saying and y'all standards, talking about Abba and Preach, then I don't think he has much of a selection, right? Or option if he's looking for something genuine, right? And if it's based off of stuff that's not money and all that other stuff, then he's competing against thousands of other men Right? 1,000 of other men that slide into her DMs as well.
For the hills. Okay. When they say the problem is everyone else, that's because the way that they operate their life is my way or the highway, and they're probably not reasonable. If you can honestly look at all your dating experience, say the problem has always been everyone else and never you, you're 1,000% a part of the problem. Everyone plays a role in some relationships failing. There's just no way you get to that point in life and you're never involved in any of the failures. Either in the selection of the people you choose, the kind of women you go after, the kind of behavior you exhibit in the relationship. You have to lack self-awareness to say, I've never been a problem.
Crazy
The other people. It's not you. To him. No, I'm sorry.
You're right.
No, it's
right.
No.
You're right.
No, not this time. Usually the common denominator is you.
The common denominator is infinity.
Yeah.
It's all the numbers.
Yes. Not you. Not the one.
That's crazy.
In all the relationship, who was wrong? Them. They're the common denominator. Bro, these guys sell you doom and gloom, say the world is for the rich. They are filthy rich and they still can't make it work. And you would think that, like, yo, you look at guys like Myra, you look at all these fresh and fit, you look at Red Pill, the high value men types. None of them have traditional families, even though they yap on about it and conservative values. They're all sleeping around left, right, and center. They fucking left, right, center. They having kids out of wedlock. They all do this shit. And then they want to lecture you about doom and gloom and just get you to pay for their subscription services. It's actually the craziest amount of pimping. These dudes pimp out lonely men.
I don't really know how Tim Pool is connected to Fresh and Fit in any way, shape, or form. I don't really understand that. Didn't Tim Pool interview Myron and actually disagree with Fresh and Fit? I think Tim Pool might have actually even defended you.
They're telling you, get rich, be successful. This is the way. They are all those things, and they don't make it work.
No, they pimp out lonely simps.
Crazy.
Pimping simps.
Oh, yeah, and these dudes are simping for these guys. They'll get in the comment sections. They'll harass you. They'll threaten you because you went after their hero. I'm like, bro, that's more pathetic than simping for an OnlyFans model.
Your fans do that, too. Ain't trying to pose too crazy, but your fans do that a lot, especially in my comment section.
Simping for a dude who's literally stealing your money and making you more lonely. That's crazy. But yeah, moving past that.
So, like, when it comes to the women that I've been in relationships with, so one relationship I was in was a woman had a career. And so we never saw each other. And she's like, I'm not giving up my career. I'm like, well, I'm certainly not.
Yeah.
You're not giving up my career. I'm not.
Doesn't compromise, chooses somebody who has a lifestyle who's incompatible with his. Everyone else is a problem, not Tim Pool. Dude works.
Fair. It's just, they just didn't match. It's okay. Right? He's highly successful. Clearly he made the right decision, right? Right? Unless he's having a Family Guy moment. Is it Family Guy? No, Family Man. I think that's the name of the old Nicolas Cage movie where he like is successful and he meets an angel that reverses his life. And then he's, instead of successful, he has a family. Nigga, I'd rather find someone who's compatible so I could be successful and compatible.
18 hours a day, chooses someone else who works 10 hours a day. Everyone else is a problem. Not how well he chooses. How does that make sense?
Do the shoulders again.
How does that make sense? You guys would laugh at anyone if they told you this as an employer. They're saying, I'm trying to hire a full-time employee. They hire a part-timer who works weekends only.
A student.
You look stupid. That's on you. That's not the employee's fault. How is that their fault?
Well, the employees are trash. Because if you really like the company, you should be devoted for it.
Yeah, and it's like you start dating someone's like, all right, well, I have a job. I make more money than you. You should give up your job and you stay more time and spend more time with
just say that.
But hold up. Just because you make more money at your job doesn't mean the other person wants to stop working. Doesn't mean that they don't want to be fulfilled in that way. And if they want that, there's nothing wrong with that. Just because you make more, you're not entitled to tell them to quit their job. They don't.
He didn't tell them to quit. He chose to move on. Yo, this is just y'all making a whole bunch of crazy insinuations. They didn't match. It's okay.
Have to give up their lifestyle. They're not the problem. You guys have chosen the wrong people. Both of you guys are the problem in this situation.
I'm going to tell you this. Crazy. If you say it's my way or the highway, or you have a my way or the highway attitude, just say that you're not available to date. You're not available. Because being available to date actually requires you to be, what's that word? Available. And you're not. You don't want to budge. You don't want to move. If everybody's the problem.
he doesn't have to, I guess, put his morals or whatever the hell he's going based off of to the side. That's not something that has to be done. It's a choice. He's choosing not to. It is what it is, right? Is Abba in a happy relationship? Like, what's we talking about? What are we talking about?
Like, listen, my guy, you're a cheat code. You're rich. You're not half bad looking. Lightning.
You ain't see what's under that beanie. And you can't wear that beanie when you have sex. Because if you do, that's crazy.
You don't, I
honestly think wearing a beanie in sex is worse, like 1,000 times worse than balding.
I think.
Man, what's wrong with these niggas? Yo, what? Is that what you thinking about? You picturing Tim Pool? Okay.
He has to wear the beanie during sex.
No, he does not.
Yes.
No.
He's not the problem, sir.
What if this motherfucker got an afro?
Yeah, but
and he's like 1/10 black. And he's even
wrong with these niggas?
He's just been hiding it.
This is just, I laughed at that just because of the randomness of just what are these niggas even talking about? Y'all just don't like him.
It's Negro now.
It's fine.
And then some other women are like, I want to go adventure and do my thing. And I'm like, I'm all about freedom and liberty, so you do your thing, I guess. And the only option I really have is to be like, no, you must be the wife. And like, that's not me.
Yep, exactly.
So I haven't found...
So you got to find somebody who wants to, start a family and be maybe a stay-at-home mother.
He just said, I'm not trying to pose it too crazy. He just said the opposite of what Abba and Preach try to put on him.
But here's the challenge with that. My perspective, personality, what I find attractive are all based on liberal urban sensibilities.
Yep.
And so most of the women in that space are going to be fiercely independent careerists and not necessarily compatible.
Oh my God, you can't make this shit up. My guy, what the ladies realize at 30, you're going to realize at 40.
Man, everybody want to build a bear bitch. A Build-A-Bear RPG Maker character. Wow. I would like someone who's got 10 points into TradCon, but also 8 points into artistic endeavors. Doesn't want to work.
You can find whatever's compatible for you. What is wrong? They act like that's not a possibility. Sorry, I hit the mic. Hopefully it doesn't interfere with the audio. But they act like that's not a possibility. You can always find somebody compatible with you. Yeah, you can find all of that. You just got to look for it.
My guy.
I mean, he's focused primarily on his career, so he probably doesn't have the time or doesn't go places where he can meet or have friends that even introduce him to females.
So, over the past several years, I've been, increasingly successful. I have no problem and no concerns about starting a family whenever I need to. But most of the women that, I have been with are like, can't career.
Yep.
And so there have been some who are like nearly 40. And I'm like,
yeah, it's getting up there a little bit.
And it's no offense. I'm just saying like
40-year-old women are lovely. Okay.
No, the issue isn't them being 40. It's the difference in my age to their age and where I am in my life. And the same is true with younger women too. So I could certainly find like a younger woman who's like, I just want to, and I'm like, but we're just not.
There's biology that comes into play too there. If you're looking to start a family and, she's already in her 40s, then there could be some trouble and that could be hard and that might not fit your what you want in your life.
Yep.
So now he has a problem with women who are younger than him, but you decide to prioritize your work and your profession and put dating by the wayside and just put all your time into that. And then you get to 34, come to realize like you really want this whole family situation. You're having regrets because you saw your dad, but this is just a result of your choices. Don't blame this on feminism.
Having regrets? What the hell are you talking about? Like, he could have been going for this the whole time. What? Yo, they just want to label him as like some red pill mansfair channel just so they could go after him. He's not a red pill mansfair channel.
Don't blame this on the... If feminism didn't come about, the very liberal values that you love so much in these women wouldn't even exist. If everyone just remained stay-at-home wives, all that shit that you yapping about that you're looking for in a woman wouldn't even exist in anybody. I don't know. To me, I'll never understand it. This makes me think of the people who want to travel for 10 years and just...
You're talking about Tim Pool. He's available. It's just that he hasn't found or met someone who fits all his requirements or credentials, which is a possibility. He just has to get out there, right? I think him having all those limits, right, of you don't want to date old and you don't want to date young, so you want to date pretty much at your age, right? there's certain things that I'm not going to say that you have to deal with, right? I'm just going to say that it's going to be harder to find what's compatible. He just has to get out there more. Really. Honestly, if he gets on one of those dating apps and he like pays for the full subscription and puts all the requirements, you can do that now. That's like an actual thing. And it only gets better and better at finding people and all the other stuff. You can go on in and it works, right? If you pay for a full subscription, and due to the fact that he's rich, he can afford it, right? You do that, you put whatever you don't want and in what you do want, and it will only show you what you want.
Just be a fucking nomad, and then come to find out they have no community to really come back to, no roots that they've planted anywhere, or they haven't built a family and they're in their mid-30s and they haven't launched up their career, and they're like, oh,
yeah, I don't get why they care so much about
your actions.
What he's doing.
You're dealing with the consequences. Take accountability. But instead of doing that, you blaming everybody else. That's crazy.
The result,
they might like him,
of everybody else.
Crazy. You know what I mean? Like you a player your whole life. Come to your mid-30s, you got zero relationship skills. Then you want to blame women for not knowing how to act.
Wait, who said he was a player? They getting out of pocket now. What? I had to think about that. When did he say player? It's like he was focused on his career. When did he say he was a player? In fact, he said that he doesn't want those type of women, right? He's looking for the relationship. They just don't like him. They're being super biased. That's what this is. They don't like him, so they're trying to put him in a certain category.
When it's actually you don't know how to compromise, you don't know how to deal with nothing, stop blaming everybody else. Crazy. And I hate about this, it's always the dudes who be yapping about accountability. Oh, you reap what you sow. This is the result of your actions. And then they sit here blaming the field instead of themselves. I think like most things in life, things are never as bad as people make it seem, but they're not as great either, right? They're normally somewhere in the middle, right? You go online, people will have you doomed out like crazy things.
No, like I have not given out on anything, right? I've had relationships in the past where I was just like on some, okay, this is something that, I don't know, I really would say is a no-go, but I'll deal with it. And then that relationship don't last long. I think you should just go out there and eventually you'll find something that is like close to perfect, right? And even if it's not perfect, it could be worked on, right? You can find something that fits. Right? Something that works for you and the other person 100%. All right. Like, yeah. Like I'm the type of people or woman I would want to date would be someone who's not a feminist, someone who's not super uptight, but at the same time, they're not woke, right? They're not with none of that stuff. They not with BLM, right? They like horror and sci-fi and supernatural type of shows. Right, and comic book stuff and anime and yada, 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 right? I got like a list of things, right, that would be requirements of things that I don't want to deal with and things that I want. And every chick that I deal with fits those requirements. It just is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, there's going to be girls that don't fit those like requirements or whatever, and I'm not going to fit theirs. You have to be okay with moving on. Right? I'm talking about rapid fire, baby. Rapid fire. I've gone into dates like this on some, hey, how you doing? Visa boy. You a feminist? Okay, I'll see you later. And just walked out. Coat didn't even come off. Coat didn't even come off. Right, so yeah, it just is what it is.
The world's about to end, and you go to real life, and people are really just not concerned about a lot of this shit. It's just not in their purview. They're not privy to a lot of it. There is some truth to the stuff of hypergamy, but it's never as bad as people make it seem to be. There is some truth to the fact that women do like men who make more money, but if you look at the numbers too, women date a lot of men who are around their income level or sometimes a little bit less, and that's becoming a more and more common trend. All right, this whole idea that it's only for the rich, I see so many poor and middle class people who are constantly getting married and making it work. This idea that you're never going to make it work unless you make six figures is just nonsense. Okay, this idea that you have to be a Chad is also nonsense. I see so many ugly guys who get it on with girls. Hell, I look decent now, but when I was,
let me not say all the girls are loyal. There's some unloyal joints out here. You just got to know how to pick them. There's books that you can really get into to where it's like on some. Think about it like a job interview, bro. You got to think about it like a job interview, fam. The same way these people specialize in a certain skill set to be able to pick the perfect employee. You got to be able to think that way for relationships, friendships, relationships, all of that. You got to think the same way, right? Learn certain things, certain traits that set off a bunch of red flags. Red flags ring alarms for me. People hate me because the way I cut people off. Fam, if red flags go up, we good. No beef. But nah, we don't gotta associate. We don't have to be cool. None of that. I'm good. Right? And that's just how I feel. Right? But then I'm living a more happy and conducive life. Right. And I'm getting even better and better at that stuff, bro. I might give certain people chances, but then once you just show me signs of you just red flagging it up, I'm not messing with you.
I was in my mid 20s to early 20s. Like, I look like a wretch. Listen, I look like something. And I was still making it work. I knew a lot of dudes who were even uglier who were making it work. This whole doomer shit online is like, if you're not a Chad, I think this is just behavior that a lot of people engage in to make their own inability to make things work seem more satisfying. It's not me.
Nah, there's a lot of truth to the whole Chad and Trixie and all those names culture. That joint is true as hell. It's not saying that only Chads are the only ones that are able to get intimate, but it's saying that people who are classified as Chads or Trixie, they have it extremely easy when it comes to that stuff, right? Mad easy. Those are the, in Chad's, I guess, circumstances, those are the guys that would usually get seen and get put into not the friend zone or even relationship zone most of the time. They get put in fun zone. They can, right? You could classify them as what ladies call them himbos, right? Boy toys, whatever, right? If you have those features, right, certain things are going to be easier for you. Same thing if you're like extremely attractive woman who has like certain body proportions that look like a video girl model. Right? Certain things are going to be, I guess, easier for you in life. It just is what it is. It's not saying that it's impossible for you to gain certain things, right? And to be in certain, I guess, circumstances. All right. For me, I've always seen myself as, I got to be more humble. I ain't going front. If you used to ask me when I was young, I used to say I was the prettiest mother effer alive. That's a fact. I don't know why. I just felt that way. But I've always thought that I was decent looking. I didn't really consider myself to be a Chad. Even I've gone through a slow streak, right? Where I was deserting. And then I almost convinced myself that, that's impossible. And I realized I'm just having a weak streak. Or you should say a dry spell, right? And nothing. But I do think that a lot of people might, I don't know if it's anxiety or whatever, might overthink it and might think that it's only this way and it's impossible. And there's a plethora of things that can make you attractive to the opposite sex. It could be personality, which I definitely have, charisma. I have funny me, right here, shoulders like for days, baby. What you talking about? Eyebrows, eyelashes, killing it. Zoolander, strike a pose, killing it right now. But there's other things that don't make me perfect. I don't think nobody's perfect but Jesus. But you get my point, right? I do think that the whole Chad thing, there's some truth to it. I just don't think that people should take it to the extreme.
Just society's changed, so I'll never find a mate. You have some accountability in all of this. Yes, things may have gotten difficult in some areas, but they've also gotten easier in others. And people who don't want to acknowledge that and always hand on their doom, I think they're just looking for excuses to justify why they're not getting the results they want.
I've been trying to stay humble and practice being humble. Nigga, I'm pretty as hell. Like, I'm sorry, right? Have you seen my eyelashes? Come on. Come on, man. Come on. I don't even gotta try. I ain't gotta try. Hold on. Watch the zoom later one more time. Killed it just now. I'm a different type of fine, right? I'm grown ass man fine. Okay? I'm construction worker fine. I look like I've been through some shit in my life.
I'm on social media. I see ugly people getting married all the time. Good for them.
I go outside. I go outside with the amount. Actually, with the amount of people that I know that consult, because now consulting and having a therapist or whatnot is a thing that is in right now. So with the amount of that, I see less and less people. There's still some people that do that. So the delusional stuff is still present, but there's less and less of that. And there's more people that are more conscious. No, I just really want to be like happy and let me cut all the extra stuff. So I've seen more and more people just go for something that they really, going for something that is less flamboyant and more less like, oh, you know what, someone that's rich that's making this and that that has a people are more from what I've seen around me. Maybe it's the Canadian thing.
They are humble.
Life humbles. Hey,
you guys just see the delusional people because the delusional people spend a lot of time.
Are highlighted.
No, it's just they spend a lot of time online,
and they are highlighted.
They're loud about it too.
They are highlighted.
And it's flagrant, so it stands out. But a lot of happy people don't got no time to be on those social media. They out here doing shit. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Miserable people go online to look for answers. Happier people are not online.
That's what it is.
Miserable people go online to look for answers. Happier people are not online looking at red pill shit. They're not.
Misery loves
company. So you're only going to be in comment sections with other people who are miserable.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Man, when it comes to the actual red pill and not people just pretending, right, for a gimmick or to sell stuff or to get views on their videos, it's extremely helpful to the guy that doesn't have that type of knowledge. Right? I don't know how they can say that when they've come on here and just been talking blatant red pill points early in their career. Right? That's really crazy. But yes, there is information like, what? Telling people, yo, you can't do research online and find nothing. Yeah, you can. I'm not going to say everything is gold, but you can find some gold on here. And usually there's people with common sense correcting the BS. If someone's going too crazy, there's going to be someone in the comment section going, hey, man, you're wilding. And then other people can vote if people are wilding, especially on Reddit and stuff like that.
Why would you be watching some of this shit? It's just dudes just yelling at you. Who got time for that?
Like, I don't ever like search for stuff on Reddit, like as in I type stuff looking for help. But boy, do I love reading other people's problems. I enjoy it. It's on some Dr. Phil type ish. I'm like, no, that advice is horrible. That's some good advice right there. Let me upvote that. Nope, I can't because I don't even have an account. Just on here, just looking, just reading other people's questions. It's intriguing.
If you're actually happy in your life, who got time to be like, oh my God, the feminist? If you're actually with a woman you really enjoy being with, I just couldn't imagine having a good time in my day and be like, you know what I need to do while I'm having fun?
How many feminist videos I got?
Let me go watch somebody called feminist whores. They're like, who got time for that?
How you connecting that to something?
That's why that was the thing. During the pandemic, you didn't go outside, so you just thought this shit was so real. Then you go outside and you talk like, what the fuck is red pill? What is this?
You think that's why it toppled?
They don't care.
You think that's why it toppled?
It was never a really big thing. It looked bigger than it was because, again, we're online. Literally nobody in real life knows about this shit or cares. So, this is another touching grass segment. Do not listen to these creators because they will have you thinking everything is going to end. And that's their job too. Why? Because miserable and fearful people are going to pay money to support them. When you
have so much content doing this very thing, this is so hypocritical. Guys, and if you hear the noise in the background, that's my loud ass air conditioner. Guess what? I'm hot. Might have to deal with some clicking and clacking. My filters take away most of it, but when I speak, you might hear a little bit. It is what it is, man.
You think there's a war coming? You will invest in order to be ahead of the curve. I'm just saying. Did you not hear it come out of his own mouth? It's not me, it's everyone else. How many times have y'all heard women say that shit and these guys flame the fuck out of them? And justifiably so. But here's a grown man repeating that same shit. How many times you gonna hear that? How many times you gonna hear men yell goofy ass shit like, oh, men are the prize? What? Are you not just a man? I'm the whole table. And you guys are gonna be like, yes, queen.
I'm the prize.
Y'all gotta stop that, fellas. Do not repeat what these ladies said when you was flaming it for him and then act like you didn't do that shit. That's crazy.
You talk your talk, King.
Yeah, King. Yeah, King. Do your thing.
You talk your talk.
Know your worth, King.
That's right.
You the table. You don't even answer that question. Know your worth.
I want to present to you some ideas, and then you can just tell me what you think.
Sure.
And then we'll start from there.
That sounds great.
So have you heard that like young dudes aren't dating for the most part? Like they're not hooking up, they're virgins.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, before we go anything, why do you think that is?
I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with dating apps and women having more options now.
So I'll explain this idea, and I guess you agree.
Yeah.
But we did a segment on this before, so just bear with me if you've already seen it. Basically, before dating apps and social media, a college age woman or high school, whatever age, is their dating pool is limited. I'd say college is probably a better idea. Yeah. It's probably a better example. Their dating pool is limited to the other college students of the same age and around their peers. But with Tinder, now they can message a 30-year-old guy who lives 5-10 miles away and was a car. So when this woman swipes right on a 20-year-old college student and a 30-year-old career guy, she thinks they're both attractive, messages both of them. The 30-year-old guy says, I can pick you up in my Honda Civic and we can go to the lake or go see a movie. And the college guy says, you want to hang out my dorm with my dorm mates? Which one's she going to pick?
She's going to pick the guy who isn't in the dorm.
Right. So you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
But would you say that's materialism, or do you think it's just?
I think it's biological.
Explain. What do you mean?
Like women are driven to find a mate, whether or not you like it or not. Like we're driven to be like, okay, who can support us? And men are driven to be like, okay, well, who's going to give us healthy children? These are biological impulses that we have. So a woman whose options are a guy with no job, drinks all the time, parties, like his age is age appropriate. You should be doing that stuff. But she had these. That was her pool. And now she has men who have jobs and money and houses and are ready to do that, to be who she is biologically driven to want to be. And so she's going to choose that unless she's wanting to party to like the dorm guy and not ready to settle down.
Because there's some, I think there's a mix between biological and social.
Yep.
I don't think it's purely one or the other. I think typically you'll find from like the feminists, it's all social constructs.
Yes.
But there was a study I just talked about earlier on one of my other channels that when a woman gets a promotion, she is more likely to get divorced. If a man gets a promotion, there's no change.
Do you think she gets divorced by like her saying, I want to get divorced now because I can support myself, or is it the man saying I can't live with you being more successful?
I think it's both.
That's interesting.
So my opinion is, I think typically, not always, a woman wants a man who is of higher status than they are.
Yeah.
Somebody who's capable, strong, confident, that they can look up to and know if like you can rely on yourself as a woman, and then you have this powerful.
I don't think it has to be like that you have to make more or do Nah, I think it's that you got to actually just be doing something. Beyonce been richer than Jay-Z for years now. For years. Okay, like I don't think she ever looked at him and saying, you don't make as much as me. You got some millions less. Nah, nigga, but if you just sitting there lazy, complaining about your life, you hate your job, right? You complaining, but you ain't doing nothing to change it. That's not attractive to most women, especially in a long term.
Benefit in this strong man who's also providing you like a safety net, I guess.
Yeah.
And then men want to feel like protectors.
Yes.
So you flip the dynamic. If the woman gets a promotion, now the man feels inadequate.
It's almost emasculation.
Yeah. And so I know that it's funny. You'll see a lot of feminists will say something like, "Oh, boohoo, the poor man." It's like it doesn't matter what you think about it. It matters that men feel this.
I would have to look at that study because I don't believe anyone who cites most of this shit online. But I'm curious. Do you believe that to be true? Do you believe that when a woman gets a promotion, a man's insecure about it because she's making more money now?
With your money. Make sure we good. Double make sure we good. I'm working on it, nigga. This is
we just chat.
Snowball effect.
I've heard about it, but I've not confirmed it
in some years.
I remember like my girl had what happened. Why you smiling?
I don't know. I just couldn't imagine being in a relationship with somebody and all of a sudden I look at my bank account and there's more money and I'm like, man, hey, this bitch.
I can understand that there could be some men that would be more uncomfortable with that. I would understand. I'm not that. That's not me. But
it's not
the way I've seen.
It's not about the money. Is she acting like the girl from what's the name of that damn Tyler Perry movie? Why Did I Get Married? She throwing it in your face constantly.
A couple of men acting out there and the insecurities that's out there. I could see that whenever you got like For example, at a job, my girl was taking care of something that they used to do every year for breast cancer, right? A huge gala and stuff like that. And then you get to meet all the coworkers. All the coworkers she already makes more money than me.
Right.
All the coworkers are making more money than me. You know what I mean? So when you're around, what do you do? All right, I'm a manager of this and that district. What are you doing? I'm a manager of this and that. I got these. And then what are you doing? I'm a dancer. Not that kind. So I'm not like that. But I know there are a lot of people out there, a lot of guys out there that it will feel very uncomfortable like that. Like, well, Peter at your job, I know there's some
amazing I am. All the other girls at your job gonna be jealous. They're like, oh, my boyfriend's so fine. He's smart. He's funny. I could just start listing off a bunch of just things I like about myself.
Guys like that. Do I feel like women want a divorce? Maybe it's true that whenever they get promotions, they're more likely to divorce. I wouldn't necessarily put a correlation between the divorce and the promotion.
I mean, there's probably dozens of reasons why that's true. Is it because they're becoming more selfish and then they're like, I've gotten better place in life, so I want to get divorced? Or is it because they're working more hours, so they have less time to invest in their relationship? Exactly. And so that's what's causing friction between the two of them. The likelihood of her getting lots of...
You mean like how Tim Pool, that was happening in his relationships with him? Swear,
promotions and a higher percentage of divorce could just be linked to the work aspect.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So again, these numbers, I don't know if they're real, but even if they are, what is the context behind them? What's the actual motivation? That's why I never like taking these. But you see how people will sometimes take a number and then just make their own narrative for why that's true.
Yes. Like I can understand that someone getting a promotion, get the promotion, and then the tasks at home change and everything and stuff. So with just that promotion, there's more pressure on the person. The person comes back home with a lot of pressure, a lot of, they don't want to, when you're supposed to come back home, and that's just for me, your home is a safe haven.
Right.
Oh, he about to do his snapping. When you come home, I want Sade playing, candles lit, bubble bath. Like, wait. Well, he wants his wife to set up for him.
Your home is your peace. I do not invite certain people, or it's going to take a long time for you to be in my house. Yeah. Even if I've been friends with you for a long ass time, I've been friends with some people.
I mean, he's never invited me to this place. It happens.
I'm sorry. What's your name again?
There you go.
Exactly. All right. So I invite him. He doesn't come to my house. He doesn't want to because he dislikes everything I do. But I
was about to say, that's a little nuts. Right, if what he said the first time was accurate, but okay, he turns it down.
Why you say it like that? Not wrong, but
it's not wrong, but it's really that. It's really that. You just like everything I do and everything I have. And
I don't just like everything you do.
You bought a call like, hey, because you saw how well it made you.
Does it say prospect on the back? Make sure it says prospect, like what Preach has been for like 20 years, a prospect.
No, because you sporting good.
Nah, you know what I'm saying? I don't dislike everything you do.
Now you sporting good.
Yeah, you know what I mean? No, I'm going to get it tailored a little bit over here just to just...
You don't have to.
Just boys being boys. Just boys being boys. When they do this stuff, they don't want no criticism for Freshman Fit. They gonna start playing the whole song.
What it's saying?
Because the thing that happened is that right now it's new, but with time it's gonna.
It's gonna fade down.
With time is gonna.
Okay, so it's not too big. It's
no. It's good.
Okay,
no, it's good.
I don't like dislike everything you do.
No, because it's good. Yo, because you like when I prop you up. When no, you're good. And you're like, yeah, I like that. That's you. That's you. Look at you. Yeah, that's it. Now, whenever you got
some weird bromance going on right here.
It's not that. Is that you got promotion, you got more stress, you got more tasks that you have to accumulate. There's more stress on you, and it could weigh in on your couple, and then eventually coming back home can be not a safe haven. Yeah. And then you spend longer time at work.
Yeah,
you do all those schemes to not go back home, and then it can potentially be It could potentially be the cause of you splitting, but it's not necessarily the fact that I got a promotion. I'm a better person. Fuck you. I need to go up. Moving on up.
Yeah. I don't believe that shit. It's like the wage gap number because people used to just reference it and be like 20 cents on a dollar. But when you look into it, it's like, okay, well, women who work in the same field but actually work in worse professions within that field. So instead of being a doctor who's a brain surgeon, they're actually just working in childcare. And it turns out that the ones that do, pediatricians make substantially less, even men. But once you had a woman who's also a brain surgeon compared to another brain
surgeon, of course, compared to a brain surgeon, they would make it less.
Surgeon, you saw that the income disparity leveled out a lot. Or if you look at women who didn't have kids, or if you look at women who spend most of the time working, you realize that that income disparity drops. So those numbers in a vacuum don't mean much. There's a narrative behind them that people are spreading. You got to look at what the reasons why are that they exist.
Dump on red pill and then start spitting red pill talking points.
100%. And also there was also the fact that the number of time that they would take off versus their male counterpart.
Yes.
And
women would sometimes prioritize that more.
Yeah, which is understandable and that's fine. But at the end of the day, they were paid the same. But if you take all the vacation and the leave and stuff like that, then you'd get a gap. Yeah.
Unless you're talking about the clothing store. I think that they was clowns for that, man. All right, like I'm not trying to like super defend Tim Pool or anything, but that was kind of petty. I feel like they was petty as hell, but tell me what you think down in the comment section.